I'm a reasonably competent photographer, but when I was a professional photographer for 7 years, there was always a nagging anxiety that I have to be competent. That thought, I have to be competent, is a stressful thought. It has many facets. First of all, it is assuming that I'm not competent and that I should be competent. And it may also include thoughts like, I don't know how to be more competent, or I can't be more competent. This can be a depressing or anxiety-producing mix of thoughts. It's an internal war with two opposing sides. I should be more competent, and I'm not more competent. In other words, I'm arguing with myself, which uses a huge amount of energy. This internal distraction quickly becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, as energy gets sucked out of productivity and put into worry and nervousness and self-attack. But all of these thoughts can be questioned. I love to question the literal thoughts that are running through my mind, especially when they're stressful. For this, I use a simple method of inquiry called the Work of Byron Katie, or the Work. I would literally question, I have to be competent. Is it true? I'm not competent. I should be competent. Is it true? I don't know how to be more competent. Is it true? I can't be more competent, and so on. When I do this work, I often find that what I thought was true is not actually true, and what I thought should happen is actually not necessary at all. I've done a lot of questioning of stressful thoughts around being competent over the years using the work, and it has left me in a different space from where I was when I was a wedding photographer and a nature photographer. And even in my beginning years of being a facilitator of the Work of Byron Katie professionally. I used to put so much pressure on myself, and now I don't, because I don't believe those thoughts anymore, or rarely I do. I once had a dream. I was sitting face to face with Byron Katie, the founder of the work, whom I look up to and admire for her clarity, honesty, and humility. She's also my teacher, which means that I sometimes put her in a position of authority in my mind. In the dream, she was looking directly at me and said something like, I sense a lot of non-clarity in you. And later she said, you're incompetent. Coming from my teacher and someone I respect, even in a dream, this could have been devastating for me. If I were the uh, if I were the me before I had questioned my thinking about being competent, if I was where I was before I did this work on being competent, I would have become defensive, pushing her away, reactive, etc. But somehow in that dream I didn't, and it surprised me. Instead, I said something like, I'm totally incompetent and I'm unclear inside in so many ways. I just don't believe anymore that I have to be competent. It felt so peaceful to simply be incompetent, exposed in whatever way I was exposed to her without a need to cover up. Without the thought, I have to be competent, there was no shame, no disconnection. I love my job without this belief. In this space, I'm always learning, always open to becoming more competent in areas where I'm not competent. But there's no fear in it, no shame in it, and no pressure in it. I don't make any claims this way, and I don't have expectations that I can't live up to. I literally don't have to be competent. It is the most freeing way to run a business, or to learn a sport, or to work through any new challenge that life gives me. When I don't expect myself to be competent, I can just be myself. Learn how to do this work yourself. No one can do it for you. It's up to you to learn how to question your thoughts and to do so. All it takes is an open mind to try it out. I also find that the work of Byron Katie is a practice. That's partly what I mean when I think of the work as a meditation. I've done the work nearly every day as part of my routine since 2007, and with practice, it continues to deepen. These thoughts pop in again and again in different situations, and each time it's like a new layer of it gets addressed when I do the work. If you want to start a practice of the work or just want to learn deeply how to do the work, then I invite you to participate in my online course, The Work 101. And we'll end with a quote from Byron Katie from her book, Loving What Is. Question: what do you mean by don't be spiritual, be honest instead? And Byron Katie answers, what I mean is that it's very painful to pretend yourself beyond your own evolution, to live a lie, any lie. When you act like a teacher, it's usually because you're afraid to be the student. I don't pretend to be fearless. I either am or I'm not. It's no secret to me.